Hey everybody, welcome back to the Pet Food Puzzle Guy. And today I got a message from George, a one of the founding subscribers. Right, George, you've been around for a long time now, and he filled me in on some news that I wanted to share with you. And you know, sometimes you just want to, kind of dig it in a little bit, like just kind of. I'm going to try to not be too immature here, but I want to share with you. If you remember last year, there was a lawsuit against Hill's Pet Nutrition because the whole DCM scare, and I'm sure you all remember that. Well, that was a big scheme by Hills and other, I don't know, whatever you want, various veterinarians and professionals all in cahoots to help Hills sales. And I want to go ahead and give you an update, thanks to George, because maybe you haven't heard, as to where is that lawsuit now, and just to review a little bit, because it's been a little while, and some of you, I'm sure, have never heard of it. So it was a big deal. Of course, all the critics that hate Hills, they were all out there making videos that you can go out and watch them. I will tag or link my video that I wrote about the lawsuit and put that on here so you could really get the details that I'm not going to get into today. But I wanted to give you an update, and I have to admit it feels stinking good to be making this video. So let's do it. I can think of all the people that had such a great time discussing the lawsuit against Hills, and I just want to. I'm going to go. We have to go back to February of last year, and I looked it up to see something to just give you a recap, especially if you're not familiar with the lawsuit. And I came up with the truth about pet food. Susan Thixton, if you don't know who she is, but she has a website and all, and I want to read what is in her little newsletter about the so-called legal complaint. The legal complaint filed in Kansas on February 6, 2024, is a 124 pages of scathing evidence against Hill's Pet Nutrition, the Morris Animal Foundation, the Mark Morris Institute, Dr. Lisa Freeman, Dr. Joshua Stern, Dr. Darcy Aiden, and others, claiming all were involved in an egregious, wide ranging, and damaging campaign of coordinated, for profit, false scientific misinformation by a large corporation to make veterinarians and pet owners falsely, per the lawsuit, believe grain-free pet foods were dangerous, linked to canine heart disease. So this was the big DCM scare. Using the tools of professional science and Hill's vast veterinary influence network, the goal of the scheme was to persuade American pet owners that grain-free diets were just fad diets, but actually dangerous for dogs. An argument that, if successful, had the potential to eradicate the entire grain-free sector of the pet food market. They have been carrying out this wide range scheme ever since. It has been, by any measure, a breathtaking, if unlawful, success. So, wow, what a scheme, huh? The lawsuit complaint introduces the case with this information. And I don't want to read too much to you, but let me just read a little bit more. I have to admit, I am enjoying this. Let me see. I just want to get down to if it says anything here about. Here we go. To carry out the scheme, Hills, along with a group of closely bound academic veterinarians, the veterinarian defendants, and front organizations. So they actually, here's a bunch of veterinarians and nutritionists that have front organizations, like the drug folks do. Um, I'm sorry, lost my space. This is just too much fun. And front organization operating on Hill's behalf. So all these people are operating on Hill's behalf. So I guess, man, they must be getting paid under the table really, really well here. Um, Operating on Hill's behalf, acted in a coordinated conspiracy. Um, so let's see if it says anything else that's worth me saying. The second strand of defendant's scheme, Hill's co conspirators, the veterinarian defendants, authored study after study about DCM and then mischaracterized the findings. So again, this is where Dr. Freeman would come in. So all the research they were looking at, they were just doing it to make grain-free diets look bad. And I'm going to stop reading here because it just goes on and on and on. But and you can watch my video that I've linked where I get into more details. But the whole idea was that all these folks were in on it because they go in to say, well, what was going on at the time back in the 2013, 14, 15 was that traditional sales of regular food like Science Diet Pro Plan was flat, and grain-free diets were going crazy, and that is definitely true. And then when Hills realized this was going on, that's how they got all their co-conspirators together to make grain-free look bad. Now, as I say in the other video that I made, I was a veterinary rep at the time with Hills through all this. Okay, what was Hills' position when they told us about DCM and the scare and everything? They said, "Hey, look, there's many more questions than there are answers. So we don't want our Hills reps going into vet clinics telling doctors this or that or whatever. We just don't know." Now, at the same time, veterinarians were getting letters from cardiac specialists saying avoid grain-free foods. FDA came out with a list, which was really very irresponsible of the FDA to do this. A list of it was about a dozen pet foods you probably saw, or dog foods that were causing DCM and people shouldn't feed them. Now, thankfully, Hills didn't have any diets on there, neither did Royal Canin or Purina, but that was totally unfair to those brands. That really was, and we knew it at the time. But the point was, Hills never came out and said, "Oh yeah, DCM, it's definitely being caused by grain-free." The nutritionists at Hills were telling us, the guys in the field that don't know any better, hey, don't take a position on this because we just don't know. So, and the other thing is, Hills had and still does grain-free foods. So it's kind of ironic that they would say, well, Hills was in on it because, again, it was going to eliminate their competition. So then the Hills sales could start increasing again. And Hills sales did actually increase during that time. Why? Because Hills started advertising on the internet, which is very inexpensive. You probably saw some commercials yourself. And that was why Hills gained. It wasn't because they were going after grain-free. It's really kind of amazing to think all these people that are credentialed and just, the Morris Animal Foundation, Dr. Freeman, all those other veterinarians, all these people are going to put their reputations and their careers at risk to help Hills sell pet food. That's pretty wild. And I remember watching a video. I won't even say who it is. It's one of the social media celebrity veterinarians that hates Hills and Royal Canin and all, and they were pointing out, well, it's kind of interesting. Well, maybe it wasn't Hills, maybe Royal Canin was involved, because what happened? What did Royal Canin do when the DCM thing was going on and grain-free foods, the sales were dropping terribly? They went and actually bought a couple small companies of grain-free brands, and they must have gotten it really cheap because, of course, the bottom had dropped out of the market. So, is that a coincidence, or was Royal Canin in on it too? It's just, these people hate these food companies so much. It's just amazing. And I shared in the video. I'm not even mentioning the small company, the grain-free company that came forward with this lawsuit. But I will tell you that company was not founded by a veterinarian, wasn't founded by a breeder, somebody that had a passion for dogs or anything like that. It was founded by a lawyer. Now, I don't know what you think of lawyers. You don't want to ask me what I think of lawyers, because I think they're pond scum, they're leeches. Okay, I guess I'm telling you what I think of lawyers. But anyway, point is, yeah, he was a lawyer, and he was really smart. He knew, hey, put a lawsuit against these big guys. Pick the big ones. Could have picked Royal Canin, actually, but he picked Hills, I guess, because of Dr. Freeman. It's kind of funny. Just because Morris Animal Foundation, Dr. Freeman, Tufts University, Hills, they all seem to agree with the science. That means it's collusion. That means they're out to just, get somebody. So anyway, I'm sure he thought, this is the way I think, man, let's go ahead and sue the big guy. We look like David and Goliath, the poor little, grain-free company trying to help pets, trying to do the best thing against the evil big corporations. And so if we win, hey, we get millions of dollars, okay? And if we lose, we still look like, the David and Goliath thing. Well, sure enough, it was back in November. I didn't know this, so thank you, George. I'm kind of surprised none of us saw this. And this is what happens. You hear about the lawsuit. Everybody loved talking about the lawsuit against Hills. This was it back in November. That guess what? The case was dismissed because it was a joke. Oh, what happened to the 124 pages of evidence and all this collusion and everything else that the Truth About Pet Food had in their newsletter? There's so much evidence. I saw it, BK Pets and everybody and their brother was out there doing videos on the lawsuit against Hills. Let's see how many you see saying that it was dismissed. Let's see. Okay, we'll count them. Here's mine. I'm one. Okay, let's see where else you hear about it. And if you have heard about it, now George heard about it, but if you heard about it, let me know because I don't want to be unfair. But as far as I'm pretty much watching the news and on social media on Facebook, and I never saw anything, but I sure plenty of articles and comments against Hills. Well, it was dismissed and it was a joke from the beginning. Again, it was just this lawyer doing lawyer things, which is, somebody said maybe he should just start making a healthier food and start making the food himself instead of just, capitalizing on this situation. And again, the weird thing is, if Hills really was going to try to be against grain-free foods, you think they wouldn't make any? That would be a first to say, hey, we think this is harmful. We're not going to make it. They could have been part of it, but instead, again, I can tell you because I was right there, they told us going in talking with veterinarians, hey, I know cardiac specialists are sending out letters and there's the FDA letter and all this other stuff. We just don't know. Now we know we supplement enough taurine, so we're not concerned. But I will tell you, this is why I do not do a video on DCM. Okay, to be totally honest with you, I know my lane. There are people much smarter than me with much more credentials, much more experience and knowledge and everything else than I have, and they're not sure about DCM. I know some of you even have those websites out there, DCM websites. I'm not taking a position because I don't know. Okay, and I'm the things I do know I will share with you. You know that, but I'm not going to share what I don't know. So all I know is this was a big scam. And y'all, those of you out there that were critics of Hills, I just love the fact that you were proven wrong. I'm glad nobody got a penny because that's well, of course, lawyers got paid, which that's what's so great about being a lawyer. But at least justice was served here. And so I'm really happy about that. And I'm happy to make this video to share with you. If you didn't hear, again, thanks to George. But there is no more lawsuit. It was all a joke. All the mass evidence they had there, whoever wrote that article for the Truth About Pet Food, no, it was all bogus. It was all just made up to try to get some free advertising, which that little company did. I'm not going to give their name because I don't want to give them any credit or exposure on my channel. But justice prevailed. I'm a happy camper. I hope you are too. But anyway, I should shut up now because I'm having too much fun. Y'all take care, and I will catch you on the next video.